Alright, hi guys, here's hoping the audio of this video is not really bad. But I'm gonna tell a slightly unhinged story time about something that happened last summer, and I recognize that some people may not like how I handled this situation, but this is what happened. I after it happened, I went to several people and I was like, did I handle that badly? And they were like, no, I think you did exactly what you should have done. So anywhoosies, here we go. This is the story of how I thought our apartment was getting broken into and how I responded to that. It is a little unhinged, but basically here's how our apartment is laid out. We need some context. We live in a gated apartment complex, but it's not like the best apartment complex in the area by far. It's not the best well kept. There's also one thing that I have realized in renting an apartment for the first time is you just like don't know who you're living with, and like you don't know who sees you coming and going, like and you see some people hanging around and you're like, ooh, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that one, you know? And at the time, it was me and two other roommates, you know, all like single, or we weren't single, we were all dating actually at the time. But these, you know, young, attractive women going up and down the stairs of our apartment complex. And I mean, like, I've gotten catcalled by like people, like, you know, from the balconies. Like, I've gone down the stairs and like gotten catcalled by our neighbors. So yeah, love that. So anywhoosies, just so y'all understand, I don't always feel the safest in my own apartment complex. But anyway, this was like, I want to say in July or August or something like that of last year, and I do have a firearm for self-defense. I grew up around guns. My dad has concealed carried for years, so like we were well trained on gun safety and how to respond in an emergency situation and stuff like that. For context, also, my gun, I have a Glock. It's the most extra thing you've ever seen in your life. It's hot pink. I call it my Barbie gun because it is hot pink and the slide is like hot pink with glitter. Like, it's special. And I specifically told my dad, I asked for it for my birthday last year, and I was like, look, we don't have like the best safety in our apartment. Like, our lock system isn't the most secure. It doesn't make me feel very safe. We actually had a bar for the door, one of those like safety bars that we were putting on the door because we were like, this is not great. We have a chain on the door, but it's like I've been able to slip my hand through and pull it off when my roommates have put it on, and I've been coming home really late. So anyway, I said, hey Dad, I want a gun for my birthday so I can feel a little safer. And I had just gotten it, and I was telling some friends at West Coast about it. I get home late, I take my bath, I get ready for bed, and I lay down to go to sleep. And I think it was like close to 1 a.m, and I am trying to go to sleep, and I hear like bam, 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 bam on the door, and I'm like, what? Like, is that the neighbors? Like, surely that's not our door. And then I hear bam, 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 and I'm like, okay, like, what's going on here? That's our door. Like, I realized this after about a minute of someone banging on our door. And I texted the roommate group chat, and I'm like, hey, is one of y'all's boyfriends supposed to be here? Because someone's banging on the door. For context, my boyfriend at the time lived an hour away. The other roommate, her boyfriend lived an hour away. The other one, he lived locally. But in my brain, I'm like, look, if we're expecting a boyfriend this late at night, like, surely someone's going to be awake to open the door for him, right? And also, this late at night, you have to put in the gate code, and it calls your phone, and you let them in. So, I don't know what's going on, but I'm texting. I'm like, hey, guys, someone's still banging on our door. Are y'all awake? Are y'all hearing this? I'm nervous. Should I call the police? And so, anyway, I'm laying in bed, and I'm not just hearing like bam, 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 bam. I'm I'm also hearing, like, I can hear them. And my room is the furthest spot in the house or the apartment from the front door. I can hear them wrestling with the doorknob. And I'm like, oh no. Absolutely not. Who in the world is doing that at 1 a.m.? Like, I'm sorry, this is Florida. Who is stupid enough to be doing that? So anyway, I'm in bed and I'm like, I think this may be my moment. I'm actually terrified. So, funny story, especially at the time, I was like, this is summer, I'm sleeping in the nude, and I get up, and I'm like, I need to put my clothes on, because I have to go see who's at that door. Like, I have to go look through the peephole. I need to know, is this a boyfriend, or is this an intruder, or like some drunk trying to break into our apartment? And I also knew I had not put the bar on the door, and there was one little lock that, like, the one lock is what's keeping our door shut, because I didn't put the chain on the door either. And I'm like, we might die. So I put on my clothes, and I'm literally thinking to myself, this is, and like, I knew I was not going to check the door unless I had my firearm on me, because I already heard them playing with the doorknob. I was like, if someone is playing with the doorknob, are they trying to break in? Like, who is stupid enough to be doing this at this time of night? So I'm like, I'm not going, if I'm walking out there and that door opens, like, done. I don't know who that is, but I'm taking my firearm. And the reality of what is going on, like, this very, very sober, like, thought process goes through my mind, and I'm like, what if there genuinely is someone there who means harm and I have to use my firearm? Because if you know anything about owning a firearm for self-defense, the last thing in the world you want is to have to use it. You don't want to use that thing because of the legal repercussions. And two, like, just the emotional trauma that you are going to go through if you ever have to use that firearm. So, yeah, I was like, no, I don't want to use this thing. I really, really, really don't want to have to use this thing. And I'm getting ready. I'm trying to find clothes in my closet, and I have this really unhinged thought. I'm like, is this my outfit that I'm going to wear when I finally have to use my firearm? And I'm like, Lauren. But anyway, I get up, I get dressed, and I pull out my firearm. It was under my bed. It did not have the clip in it, so I load it, put it in there, and I'm a weak girly, okay? Look at her. She's not so strong. So, and I know when I've been at the range, I have had trouble with, pulling the slide back. So I think to myself, and this is the part that I question whether I should have done or not, but I went ahead and I pulled the slide. There's a bullet in the chamber. Because I'm thinking to myself, if that door opens, mind you, this has been 5 minutes of banging on her door and, like, roughing, like, jiggling the door handle. I'm thinking to myself, if someone is breaking in and that door opens and I'm opening fire, like, if I see someone I don't know. Because I knew for a fact that my roommates were home, one of the boyfriends would not and does not have any business breaking into our home. Under no circumstance should you be doing that. So in my mind, I'm thinking, if that door opens and I see someone I don't know, opening fire. Like, I'm sorry, you have no business breaking into my home. Like, absolutely not. So I have the slide pulled back. And as I creep, I have 911 dialed. I'm about to push the button. And I was like, it's 1 a.m. If it's one of the boyfriends, I really don't want to call 911. But my plan was, I was going to walk down the hall, check the peephole, and if it was someone I did not know, I planned on barring the door, and I had not decided whether or not I would yell through the door and say, I have a firearm, do not enter my home, or just calling 911. Like, I was going to call 911 either way if it was someone I didn't know. But I was like, they need to know that if they continue doing what they're doing and they actively are trying to break in, I'm going to defend myself. So this is what I'm prepared to do. And as I am sneaking past, I realize there is a light under one of my roommate's doors. And I think to myself, if it's one of the boyfriends, it's her boyfriend. She does not have good reviews for this man. I did not like him. I really did not like him. And he knew I didn't like him. So I think to myself, I'm just gonna check the off chance that it's her boyfriend. So what I do is I set my firearm on the ground a long distance from her where she won't even see it. And I go up to her, I wake her up, I see her phone, someone's calling her. I shake her awake and I'm like, hey, is your boyfriend supposed to be here right now? Because someone has been banging on our door for 5 minutes and I have my firearm out. For context also, my roommates knew I had a firearm. It was not a surprise to them. They knew and they supported it. So I told her, I have my firearm out, and if this is not your boyfriend, I think we should call the police. And so she immediately jumps up, goes to the door. It's her boyfriend. And I'm like, whew, this idiot, what did he think he was doing? How are you this dumb? So anyway, I come into the room, and I'm like, hey guys, I'm so glad that this was not actually a dangerous situation, but I want you to know, just so nobody has any misunderstanding about what's going on, I didn't know who was here. I thought we might have an intruder situation, so I have a firearm, and I need to unload it. I just want everyone to know what's going on. So anyway, here's the thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, Lauren. I know gun safety. I know how to handle a firearm. However, the one thing that I was not fully certain on how to do was to get the bullet out of the chamber when it was in the chamber and was not going to be shot. Because I was like, I cannot leave. There's no safety on a Glock. I cannot leave a bullet in the chamber of my firearm. That's not safe. But every time that ever happened before where it got jammed at the range, my boyfriend, or my ex now, he would be the one to get it out of there. Because I was like, I don't know what to do. So he would get it out, or I would shoot it. Like, there was never a situation where I needed to be the one to get it out of the chamber. So I had seen him do it, but I was like, I'm gonna just, watch a little Google or a little YouTube video and figure this out real fast. So I'm on the living room floor, and I am like getting this thing out of the chamber. I get it out, take out the clip, and I'm like, whew, guys, we're good now. Yay! And I go and I lay down in my bed and I put everything away and I just lay there and I'm like, did I do the right thing? Did I grossly mishandle this whole situation? And I told my boyfriend the next day and he was like, nope, you handled it correctly. Like, that's exactly what you should have done. I told several people and they were like, yup. No, if you think you have a home intruder, you did what you were supposed to do. And what made me feel probably the most validated in what happened is my roommate, whose boyfriend had been the one to cause all that trouble. He was not happy. He was like, Lauren tried to pull a gun on me. She laid into him. She was not happy. She was like, no, she didn't. She did exactly what she should have done. And you were the one, for context, he was late. She told him, do not come if you're going to be late. He was an hour or so late. And what had happened is he had called the gate code, and my roommate was so tired. She's a college student. She was so tired that she fell asleep as soon as she let him through the gate. And she fast asleep. So, yeah, she was not happy. She defended me to her now ex. And, I still think that is a particularly unhinged situation that I have been in, and I was very sobered by it. I was very sobered by it because I said it before, but the last thing I ever want to do is to ever have to use my firearm. However, I am a young woman living in the great state of Florida. There are some crazy people out here. I don't always feel safe in my own home. I don't always feel safe just living my life. Like, look at me. Like, look at this girl. If someone were to ever have ill intent towards me, I can't win a fight. I want a way to protect myself. So, yeah, that happened. And, like, nowadays, I still think I did the right decision. Because, again, there was no way I was going to check that door without having some kind of protection. Because, like, if you're laying in your bed and for 5 minutes, all you hear is the sounds of what sounds like someone is banging on your front door and potentially trying to break in, like, what are you going to do? Call 911? Like, I was about to. But I also knew that if someone were to break in before law enforcement could get here, I wanted to protect myself and I wanted to protect my roommates. So, anyways, yeah. What would you have done if you were in my place? Would you have done the same thing as me? Would you have done something else? Like, I don't know, guys. I probably would do the same thing if a similar situation occurred. And I'm not the kind of person that if I saw movement or heard someone moving in the apartment that I would immediately open fire. Like, I know not to do that. So, anyways, yeah, that's the story. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.